Well, I have a big concern with all the administration's proposals. The concerns really fall into two categories. Number one, government. They're talking about this government option. You know, we want to have plenty of options, including a government option. I'm concerned with a lot of conservatives that if we pass that into law, that government option in a couple of years would be the only option because unions, companies, et cetera, would dump their employees in the government option because it would be the cheapest thing to do and would be subsidized by the taxpayer. So that first concern is government takeover. The second concern is related to that, and that's skyrocketing costs. The biggest issue in healthcare now is cost. We need to control costs. We need to make healthcare affordable and accessible by having reasonable costs. I don't think the Obama plan does that at all. I think it moves in the opposite direction. And you've had some very respected healthcare experts like the Mayo Clinic, like the Lewin Group, which is a consulting group, that say the same thing. We're taking our healthcare financing problem, particularly in Medicare, escalating costs that we can't sustain over time, and we're making that a lot worse because we're making that part of medical care in the U.S. much bigger. Yes, we have offered several different alternatives and will continue to do that, including in the amendment process on the floor of the Senate. I think it's important to say no when no's the right answer, but I think it's also important to lay out a clear, positive alternative, and we've been doing that. Hasn't gotten enough attention, but we've been doing that, and we'll also do that on the floor of the Senate. I think it's completely unrealistic, and I think it's really dangerous. This is literally the biggest piece of legislation that any of us in the Senate will probably deal with our lifetime. And we're supposed to rush through this in a few weeks. That's exactly what led to such a debacle with the stimulus. You know, vote for it now, read it later. We can't repeat that mistake. And I think there's a really strong and a really clear consensus among the American people that say, slow this down, do it right. Yes, I am concerned about that, and I'm concerned about what you see in other countries like Canada and England, which essentially is rationing, which is folks having to wait forever or actually be denied care because some government bureaucrat decides it doesn't fit into their plan. So I'm real concerned about that. Well, first, read more, learn more, and then react by talking to your senator or your member of Congress. Hopefully, this will be out there being debated around the country throughout the August recess when all of us as members of Congress are back home for about a month. But people really need to tune in, study what's out there, and then react to their senator and House member.